Hello, ladies. Welcome to the live webinar today. Today, we are talking about the secrets to make new friends and thrive in midlife. And so, before we get started, please let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Just say, yes, I can hear you. And more importantly, tell me where you're from because I always love to hear where everybody is from because I think it's amazing that the internet connects us no matter where we live, where it's the United States or Canada or Europe, it doesn't matter. So I hope you guys can hear me. I'm not seeing anybody comment in the chat. If you are looking at the screen, there's a little button that says chat in the middle. If you click that and then you type in, and just let me know. Oh, good. Phew. I was like, can anyone hear me? Let's see. We have Cindy, and she's from Connecticut. Awesome. We have also, let's see, Debbie I'm in California too. I don't know if you know that. Some people know me from before, and I've spent time on both the East Coast and West Coast. I used to live in New York. I'll tell you guys my story a little bit later in the recording. We also have Angie from New York. We have Jill from Chicago and Susan from Vancouver. See, a Canadian. I love Canadians. Lisa from LA. That's close to me. I'm actually in Newport Beach, California. And we have Deborah from New Jersey, Christine from Miami, and Diana from Seattle. Awesome. I know it's rainy up there. My niece actually goes to college at the University of Washington. This is last year. I'm excited for her. And we have Gina from San Diego, Renee from Boston, and Linda from Toronto. And I know it's cold up there. So I'm excited to get started today. I haven't done a live webinar since June. I'm going to start doing more of these. So if you guys have suggestions on topics you want me to cover to help women in midlife, because I know we go through different challenges than other people, let me know. But today, the topic is, and let me share my screen. Perfect. Why is that? Oh, there we go. Okay. So today's topic is the steps to make new friends and thrive in midlife. And if you've been feeling like, gosh, Suzanne, this is exactly how I've been feeling. I need to make new friends. I will tell you, you are not alone. And I can assure you of that. And I know it can feel kind of weird at our age, and I'll just share my age so you guys know how old I am. I am 60. I will be turning 61 in January. And so I went through my own journey of realizing how challenging it was to make new friends in midlife when I made the move. And I'll tell you more about that. So just know you are not alone. So you're in the right place if reason number one, you have friends. We all have friends, right? But sometimes it can still feel lonely and isolating, right? And just know this is normal. At least I found it was totally normal in my life. Reason number two, your friend circle isn't the same. I don't know about you, but my friend circle has certainly changed in midlife and it has either shrunk or some of my friends, quite honestly, they disappeared. And reason number three, you're in the right place if you're ready to make new friends, but you're like, gosh, Zan, I don't know where to start. Thank God you're doing this webinar, which is exactly why I'm doing it. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a life coach for women in midlife. And it's truly my passion to serve women in midlife because, like I said, we deal with a lot of different life challenges and changes that we didn't see coming. And sometimes it can be a little overwhelming dealing with these things on our own. So, As I mentioned, I've been a coach for actually over 25 years. I did love coaching, and I also now just focus on life coaching women in midlife because I truly, like I said, it's my passion to help women in midlife. I was born and raised in San Francisco. I'm a native San Franciscan, and I went to college down here in Southern California in Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach. And after I graduated, I actually moved back to San Francisco. Um, but like most people, sometimes we have a little crisis when we turn a certain age. Well, some people have a crisis when they turn 30, 40, those milestone birthdays, 50, 60. Well, literally the only birthday I've ever freaked out on was when I turned 31 because Suzanne's not normal. I don't know why. I turned 31 and I freaked out. Well, actually, I do know why. And here's why. It is because when I turned 31, I was living in San Francisco. I was working a job that was just okay. It wasn't anything to write home about. And I had never lived in New York City. And I always said to myself, oh my God, I always wanted to live in New York from the time I was young, from the time I was in the eighth grade. And I realized at 31, believe it or not, that's why I freaked out. I thought my life was over, meaning I was settled into my life in San Francisco and my job. I didn't even have a boyfriend or I wasn't married. I didn't have children. So I don't know what was holding me back. But that's what woke me up because I said, Suzanne, either you move to New York now or you're going to regret it later in life. So I did. I quit my job. I picked up and I moved to New York City without a job or an apartment. Now, ladies, if you know anything about New York City, I'm going to tell you, or maybe you don't. So I'll tell you, it's harder to find an apartment than a job. I actually found a job first and then I found an apartment and it was challenging, I'm not going to lie. But I was able to overcome all of those challenges. And I lived in New York City for over 22 years. And I have to say, it was honestly the best years of my life so far because I truly lived the Sex and the City life. And I really, really love New York. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. And for me, I'm not a winter person. And so for 22 years, winter wasn't my favorite season. And if you live on the East Coast, you know what I'm talking about. It lasts a long time. So as I got older, I realized, you know what? I really want to be in a warmer climate. So at 55, 5 years ago, I moved across country to here, Newport Beach, California, in 2020. And it's beautiful here. I live right by the beach. I love it. It's a different lifestyle than New York. But the great news is I get to go back to New York to visit all the time. In fact, I'm going back to New York in early December. So I love going back to New York. It's truly a great city. The food, the people, I miss the people. Anyway, in 2021, after I moved to Newport Beach, I got a call from my doctor, and it was the call that no one ever wants to get. And the call was, Suzanne, you have cancer. And after my doctor said those words, it was like I couldn't hear anything that she said. It was, as you can imagine, horrible. And I was diagnosed with a very rare cancer in my liver, and only about 5% of women get it. Anyways, it was a wake up call because as I went through that journey of first being diagnosed and then going, why me? And in denial of why can't I go back to before I was diagnosed? It was wake up call because one of the things that it did was it made I kicked myself. One of the first things that popped into my head was, "Oh my God, Stan, you're so stupid. You haven't been living your life like you want to and doing all the things that you love. You spend way too much time working." And so, like I said, it was the wake up call that I never wanted, but the one I needed, and not the cancer part. I don't want that. But it was the wake up call to start living my life. And so I did. I started doing more things that I had kept putting off for someday later, which is really silly because we truly don't know how long we have, right, in life. And I didn't want to do these things alone. I wanted my friends to join me, but they were really busy with their own lives. Some of my friends that live locally still had kids in high school and were attending like games and things like that. And I don't have children. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted to go and do other things. So I started to feel because my friends couldn't join me, or worse, they didn't want to join me because they were just happy in their routines and they were like, no, Suzanne, you go and do your thing and blah, blah, blah. I started to feel, and this is being totally honest and vulnerable, I really started to feel isolated and alone. So I knew I needed to make new friends. But I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know where to start. I was like, okay, I haven't had to do this since when I moved to New York 22 years ago. And I literally, by the way, when I moved to New York, I knew one person and she lived in New Jersey. And so I had to start fresh there and make new friends. But making new friends when you're in your 30s versus 55 is a lot different. Plus, as a solopreneur, I work from home, so it's a little bit more isolating. Anyways, I started out slow and I tried new and different things. And slowly, I'm going to emphasize this, slowly but surely, I started to build new friendships in my life out here. But I started to realize as I was feeling this way, at first I felt like, am I the only one feeling this way? And then I started thinking, I'm like, I can't be the only woman in midlife who is feeling like this loneliness and needing to make new friends. And so I went into these Facebook groups for women in midlife and I started searching some of the posts. And boy, was I right, because I started seeing posts like, I'm on a quest to make new local friends, hopefully make new friends. You all know how hard it is to make new friends in your 50s. And I was like, yeah, I know. That's me right now. I'm looking for new friends and activity partners and some other ones of let's see, what else do we have? I need to put myself out there to make new friends, but feel like I don't know how. And so it got me thinking again, I'm not the only one feeling this way. And as a life coach for women in life, well, I'm going to help you do that and help you realize that you are not alone in feeling this way. So if you've been feeling alone, like, am I the only one feeling this way? This should assure you you're not. Also, I don't know if you know, but there was a report put out by the Surgeon General in 2023 that there's actually an epidemic of loneliness and isolation in our country. So there was a trend where social isolation had an increase of 24 hours per month. 20, I'm going to say that again because when I read these statistics, I was like, 24 hours per month? That's literally 1 day per month, which is 12 days per year, right? Household family social engagement, there's a decrease of 5 hours per month. Companionship, a decrease of 14 hours per month. Not only that, social engagement with friends had a decrease of 20 hours per month, and non household family social engagement had a decrease of 6.5 hours per month, and social engagement with others had a decrease of 10 hours per month. So, again, I just want to assure you, you are not alone in feeling this way. And truly, it is my mission as a life coach for women in midlife to help women make new connections, create lasting friendships, and thrive in midlife. Because here's what I know is midlife is truly better together. And lastly, P.S., because you may be wondering, yes, I do still have cancer, but the good news is I'm thriving today with cancer. And this is a picture of me in New York. I go back to see my doctor in New York at Memorial Sloan Kettering once a year. And this was me actually last year where he gave me great news and said, Suzanne, everything is stable. You're doing really well. You can skip coming to see me next year, which is this year, 2025, and just see me next year. So next year, I'm going to go see him in April of 2026. But I'm doing great. So I'm thriving with cancer. I just want you to know that. I know sometimes people worry and go, "Oh, are you okay?" I'm doing great. Okay. So here's what you'll learn today is why making new friends feels harder in midlife. I'm also going to share with you the real secrets to make new friends in midlife. And I'm going to share with you how to thrive in midlife with the right women by your side. So, if you've been wondering, why does it feel harder to make new friends in midlife? I'm going to share with you why it feels harder. Because, like I said, when we were younger in our 20s and 30s, we met friends easy way, whether we were in college or we were at a job at work, or we met friends through friends, right? So it was a lot easier and that we were doing more social things when we were younger. Now, your friend circle may feel like it's getting smaller. It hasn't completely disappeared, but you're starting to notice that there's a shrinkage factor going on. And the truth of the matter is, and this has happened to me too, is that friends drift apart, right? People move, or you move, like I moved. I had to start over and make new friends here. And what people don't realize, and it's sad sometimes, is friendships fade away or you outgrow them because you start to not have as much in common with somebody and realize we don't have as much in common. I don't know if I want to spend that much time with someone. So the other part is that you may have some emotional barriers to making new friends. And you may be one of the people that says, I'm fine. Like when someone says, "How are you?" I'm fine, even though deep down inside you're feeling lonely. Because that was me when I moved here to Newport Beach. When friends that didn't live here would say, "How are you?" I'm great. I didn't want to admit that I wasn't fine. And there's an embarrassment, there's a social stigma about feeling lonely, right? And admitting it. Trust me, I know I felt that way. There is also no one likes to be rejected. So we have a fear of rejection and making new friends. Like, what if she doesn't like me? What if she doesn't want to be my friend? So I know all of those old school, like when we were in middle school, those old feelings still come up even though we're in midlife. So we know we need to make new friends. But the truth is, we were never taught how to make new friends as adults, and especially adults in midlife. So just know that everything you're feeling is totally normal. If it feels awkward to you or like, I don't know where to start, Suzanne. So the real secrets to make new friends in midlife, I'm going to share with you 5 simple steps. So if you have a sheet of paper or notebook, pull it out because I'm going to give you some real steps that you can take. And these are real steps, by the way, that I actually did. And I did things, trial and error, tried to figure out what worked. So I'm just giving you what worked for me. So if you want to meet new friends, start by going where like-minded women naturally gather. Like-minded women with for like groups that meet regularly. And here's why you want groups that meet regularly is because connection and friendship take time to grow. And so if you find a group that meets on a regular basis, you'll start to get to know better people better on a deeper level. Okay. And say yes more often to events and things that put yourself out there. And I know sometimes if you're feeling shy, it can be hard to say yes to going to those events and things by yourself. It's a lot easier to lay on your couch and watch TV at home. Trust me, I know, because these are things that I went through my head. I was like, I don't really want to go alone, but I will. But I could also just lay on my couch tonight because that seems much better. But just know it's important that you take yourself outside of your comfort zone. So here's some examples. And again, these are real life examples that I use. So look for women's communities. Now, there's women's communities both locally where you live and there's also online communities. Remember what I said? I went and searched on Facebook for women's groups, but the important thing when you search online is to search for the ones in midlife because I did join a couple of women's groups. Some of the groups I joined, the women were like in their 20s and 30s, and they were posting to the group, hey, who wants to go out drinking, Thursday night? Who wants to go out to a club? And I was like, I can't relate. I did that in my 20s and 30s, and I'm over it. So again, look for groups your age and your stage of life. Physical activities. There are so many walking groups in your local area, or if you're into running like I am, running groups. Or I know this is a big thing is pickleball. I haven't tried. My old college roommate wants me to come and play pickleball with her, and I'm going to so I can meet more people. Or hiking group, mindfulness spaces. I don't know about you, but I'm really into yoga, meditation, and I love doing retreats. I don't do retreats often, but if I can, I will. And every time I've done that, I've always connected with the women there. And I will tell you, it turns into lifelong friendships because not only do you have a common goal, but the time that you're at the retreat, you really have the time to bond and connect over something that you have in common. If you're creative, look at book clubs or painting or writing clubs. And lastly, here's another one. And these aren't, by the way, the end all be all. I'm just trying to get your mind thinking about, oh, some things that I'm interested in. I look for groups with women, culinary activities. I don't know about you ladies, but I love to eat. So food tours, cooking, or wine tasting. And anything that revolves around food, I feel like you instantly connect. I always connect. When women tell me they like to eat like I do, and I can eat a lot, I always connect with them. I'm like, let's go eat. Who doesn't? Okay, so step number two is you need to shift your mindset. And trust me, as a life coach, this is big. Okay. So it's important to let go of the negative mind chatter. And we all have it. Even though I'm a life coach, I will tell you, I get it too. I've just become better at managing it and overcoming it and moving forward. Okay. So you may say to yourself when you're going to these events or things is you may say to yourself, and this is negative mind chatter, is everyone already knows each other. I'll just be an outsider. Well, you're already behind the eight ball before you even get there. Or you see someone and you're like, oh, she probably already has friends and isn't looking to make new ones. I've heard that a lot, not just from myself when I was looking to make new friends, but other people that I coach have said that to me. What if I try and no one really wants to be friends with me? Here's what I will tell you. Every time I've gone out and tried to make friends, I will tell you, everybody is looking for more connection. No one has ever said, no, I don't need to be your friend. I don't want to be friends with you. No one has ever said that to me. Um, I don't want to come off as desperate or needy. And again, this is like that old when we were middle school, right? We like want to be cool and we don't want to be needy with the cool kids. But you know what? It's about managing your mindset as we age, right? Because all those old feelings still come up. I feel awkward here. I'm going to leave. I will tell you, this happened to me at a running event that I went to, and I went by myself. And it did feel like everyone knew each other because they were all standing around in small groups. And I felt so awkward. And again, that old high school feeling came up for me. And this came up for me. I literally said, I feel awkward here. I want to leave. And I'll tell you how I changed it in the next slide. But trust me, when those negative feelings come up, you have to quiet your mindset, calm your nerves, and just shift. Shift and think about making one connection at a time. Okay. So, first thing, like when I was having that horrible feeling of, oh God, I feel awkward here. Everybody is in small groups. I feel alone, and everyone felt younger than me, is take a deep breath because I didn't leave. I didn't allow myself to leave. I said, nope, Suzanne, just take a deep breath. And here's what I said to myself. This is literally what I went through. I said, you know what? You don't need to meet everyone in this room. And once I took the pressure off myself, because I think before I went, I kept thinking, oh, I need to meet like a lot of people. No, I took the pressure off myself. I said, you don't need to meet everyone in the room. And you don't need to walk out with five friends. Again, taking the pressure off. Don't be hard on yourself. Let go of any expectations. Again, I think we all put so much pressure on ourselves, like we need to make five friends, we need to talk to 10 people. It's let go of any expectations. Stop putting pressure on yourself. So here's what I did. I said, you know what, Suzanne? You're not going to leave. I said, just make one connection. One. Can you just make one connection? I want you to think about that for a second. Did that take the pressure off of you that you were feeling about going to an event? It's just make one connection. Just talk to one person. That was my goal. I said, Suzanne, just talk to one person. And when I said, I was like, I can talk to one person and just have one conversation. I was like, I can do that. And when I started to talk myself out of it, out of leaving, I mean, it just became so much more manageable. And like I said, I let go of any expectations because the truth of the matter is you're not going to click with everybody. If you click, great. If you don't, no big deal. But I said, just talk to one person. And I did. And here's the funny thing. I'm telling you all of these things that I went through in my mind when this happened, because the funny thing is, one woman out crowd, and she looked like she was around my age and middle age. I don't know her exact age because I haven't asked her because I think that would be rude, but looked like she was middle aged like me. And so I picked her out of the crowd. And the funny thing is, I talked to her and we are still friends today. And this was almost a year ago. We still do things together. So thank God I didn't leave because she is a friend. So here is step three is how to open the door to friendship is look, our phones are great, but they're also not great because they create a barrier when you're out. We use these as our um, security blanket, right? Is, oh, I don't know anyone, so let me just look what's online. But when we do that, this creates a barrier to making a connection with somebody. So, as uncomfortable as it is, put your phone away and stay in the uncomfortable and just start noticing people around you. If I stayed on my phone, I would never notice that there was a woman my age and that I wanted to talk to her and I wanted to meet her. So be warm and open and curious and be willing to engage and talk. And all you need to do, and this is exactly what I did with this woman at this running event, is got in close proximity. And she was there alone too. And I smiled and I made eye contact and I asked her a question. And if you're thinking, well, what do I ask her? You don't need to ask anything brilliant. You know what I asked her? I said, oh, have you been a member of this running club for a long time? And she said, actually, no. And we just started talking, and that just started the conversation. You're just asking a question to start the conversation. So it doesn't even have to be brilliant. So take the pressure off yourself. And you need to be willing to be vulnerable and share things yourself as the conversation goes on. Because when you share more things about yourself and you ask open-ended questions and she shares more things about herself, here's what happens is you're going to find common interests and you're going to have what I call me too moments where we share things about ourselves and then she says, "Oh my God, me too." I said, I live in Newport Beach. She lives in Newport Beach too. Oh my God, you live really close to me, right? She used to actually also live on the East Coast. We had another Me Too moment and we talked about how it was really hard on us. So it's important to, like I said, be vulnerable and share things about yourself so that you can have those Me Too moments. Step four, here comes the part where you exchange info and you follow up. Now, I know this can feel a little uncomfortable, but if the conversation is going well, say, hey, we should exchange info and keep in touch. And I would have definitely done that with her, except she beat me to the punch. She goes, we should do this again. Here's my number. Let's keep in touch. And we did. And then follow up and say, hey, it was great meeting you. And I really enjoyed our conversation. And then later invite her to do something together. This is exactly what I've done, not only with the woman I met at that running event, but every person I've met out. So, step five, this is five, is give it time. I know in this day and age, we want everything to happen like now, and it should have been yesterday, right? But here's the thing is don't expect to be best friends in the first few months. Okay. I find that building friendships in midlife actually and it feels like it's taking a little bit longer than it did in our 20s and 30s. I'm just going to be honest with you. But be patient with the process. Okay. It takes time, like I said, to develop and nurture a close friendship. And the truth is, don't be offended. Not every new connection will turn into a lifelong friendship. So don't be discouraged and don't give up when some of the connections that you make just fall by the wayside. Because I will tell you, some of the people that I've made connections with, it has fallen by the wayside. But that doesn't stop me. I keep going. I keep making new friends every single week, month, year so that I keep meeting new people. So I don't get offended when some people fall by the wayside. It's important to remember to focus quality, not quantity. Okay. So, what's stopping you right now from making new friends? So, it could be staying in your routine or comfort zone. Remember when I just shared that sometimes when I think about going to an event by myself, I think about, do I want to go to the event by myself or do I want to just lay on my couch and watch TV? Yeah, sometimes that goes through my head. But it's important that I take myself outside of my comfort zone if I want to make new friends. So, yes, it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but always remember what your end goal is. It could also be a fear of rejection. Again, we're human. No one wants to be rejected. No one is going to outright reject you. Sometimes the friendships will work out and sometimes they won't. It's nothing personal. Okay. Or maybe you're shy and introverted. So I'm going to share something with you that you may or may not know about me because if you are new to being on one of my live webinars, you may not know this. I used to be so deadly shy when I was little, I couldn't even look people in the eye. And the truth of the matter is, even now, as an adult and a 60-year-old adult, I'm not as shy anymore. I've overcome that. But even though I'm more public and putting myself out there as a life coach, I still have an introverted nature. So I'm one of those people that's kind of extroverted, introverted. But I've gotten over my shyness. But I've also sometimes those little inklings of shyness will come up when I'm at an event. And again, how I take that away is I take the pressure off and say, Suzanne, you just need to talk to one person, just one, not 10, one. Okay. Or we worry about not being liked. I get it. I totally get it. Like I said, even though we're in midlife, those feelings of high school or middle school still come up of, will she like me or won't she like, or feeling like, oh, everybody already has their own friend group. So these are some of the things that can be stopping you. Or lastly, is I've put myself out there before, but it never turned into a lasting friendship. Just remember, you don't need to be perfect or completely extroverted. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. When you show up as your real authentic self, I promise you, you will attract the right people to you. Okay, so what if it's easier than you thought to make new friends in midlife? What if you were surrounded by like-minded women who truly get you? And you're probably going, yeah, this would be nice, right? Or what if you didn't have to navigate this next chapter feeling so alone? And what if this time it actually led to real, genuine friendships? And what if you you felt support through all of the ups and downs of midlife, and you know what I'm talking about, the things that we never saw coming, and we're like, where did that curveball come from? But you had the right women by your side who truly care. Well, that's exactly why I created my group, the Circle of Love Sisterhood, is because I found that midlife is truly better together. So if you're tired of smiling and saying to people when they ask you, how are you? And you say, I'm fine, but deep down, you're tired of holding it all together on your own. Or if you're tired of friends who say, let's get together, but never make it happen, and they leave you feeling more isolated and alone when you need connection the most. And if you're tired of trying to make new friends and realizing it's much harder in midlife than you ever imagined, and if you're tired of facing big life changes alone, whether it's retirement on the horizon, an empty nest, an unexpected health scare like my cancer diagnosis, or the loss of aging parents without a trusted circle to lean on, and if you're tired of feeling lonely, even though you have people in your life, it still feels like you're all alone on this midlife journey. I totally get it because I'm telling you, I felt every single one of those feelings. So if you're ready to breathe easier, knowing you don't have to carry it all on your own, and you've got a circle of supportive women who are always there for you when you need it most, and if you're ready to meet and connect with like minded women who are on the same midlife journey, and if you're ready to build lasting friendships with women who follow through, make time, and value real connection just like you, and if you're ready to move through big midlife changes with confidence, knowing that you have a trusted sisterhood that reminds you of your strength and keeps you grounded through it all. And if you're ready to belong to a safe space, surrounded by women, celebrate your wins, lift up when you're down, and make midlife the best chapter yet. So I personally want to invite you to join us in the Circle of Love Sisterhood. because in the group, the Circle of Love Sisterhood, we thrive in life, make new connections, and we build lasting friendships. And so the sisterhood was created just for you because midlife is your time to thrive, not just survive. Because you've spent years, if you're anything like me, you've probably spent years being strong for everyone else and putting everyone else's needs above your own. Now in midlife, you're saying, this is my time. Put yourself first and get the support you've been missing. So you'll be welcomed into the Circle of Love Sisterhood with open arms from women who are navigating the same exact life changes and shifts and new beginnings that you are. So you will never feel alone. So it's time to surround yourself with a community of women where connection and friendships grow with ease and you never have to navigate midlife alone again. Because, like I said, midlife is truly better together. So, introducing how the Circle of Love Sisterhood works. So, number one, every month we do two live sessions. And the first session of the month is all about thriving in midlife. So, you'll have a supportive space to navigate midlife changes with guidance, encouragement, and practical. And here's why this matters is because midlife isn't just phase. It's a major life transition, and you deserve the support to move through it with confidence. The second session, live session of every month, it's all about real connection with your sisters and getting the support and encouragement you need. And here's why it matters. It's because I know from my own experience, you've been carrying so much on your own. And now it's your turn to be seen, heard, and understood, and most importantly, supported in a safe space. The third part is about building lasting friendships. Like I said, making new friends becomes so much easier when you're surrounded by a community of women who genuinely want to connect. And why it matters is because, like I said, midlife, if we're all being honest, can feel lonely. And we all need lasting friendships that grow beyond the screen into real life. So, what are our members saying? So, Tanya, she said having a group of women seeking support really made me feel less alone. Here's what's included. Like I said, you get two live monthly group sessions where we thrive in midlife, make genuine connections with minded women. Two, we'll build lasting friendships, genuine sisterhood with women who are on the same journey as you are. I also have a private Facebook group for the Sisters in Sisterhood. It's a safe and supportive space in between live sessions where you get to connect, share, feel seen and heard and supported, celebrated with whatever you're going through. You also have access to a VIP membership site and access to exclusive content to support you on your journey in midlife. Another member, Nancy, who lives in Jersey, she said one of the most important things, she said, I now have an amazing network, support network, and close friendships I value with all my heart. In fact, remember I told you guys that I'm going to New York in a couple of weeks at the beginning of December? I'm getting the sisters that live in New York and New Jersey. So we do get together offline. Our sisterhood different. It's not just a group, it's a true sisterhood built on real connection. You won't be breaking into existing friend circles and feeling awkward because I will tell you that everyone is excited to make new friends, whether they've been members for ever since I started the group or they're new. Everyone is excited to make new friends. You'll have honest and heart to heart conversations. You'll be a part of a support space where you feel seen, heard, and understood. It's a safe space. This is so important. It's a safe space where you don't have to pretend like you have it all together in life. I want you and I encourage you to show up as your authentic self and truly get the support you need, whether we celebrate you or we give you support with whatever you're going through. And like I said, whether you're introverted, extroverted, or a combination of both, like I am, is you'll feel welcomed, I promise, and included. Maria, who's 60, said, I didn't feel like I was going through this part of my journey alone. I felt surrounded by a true sisterhood of women going through real life. So, probably wondering, Suzanne, if you're ready to make new connections and create lasting friendships and thrive in midlife together, and you want to join the Circle of Love Sisterhood, you're probably like, okay, and tell me how much it is. Guess what? I know this is a very inexpensive price. You can join for a little $17 a month. But wait, don't go anywhere because this is literally the first time I am doing this. I have never done this before. I am actually doing I can't even say it. See, I've never done it before. A Black Friday special. And if you join today, I'm going to give you a Black Friday code of if you put in BF50 and you will get 50% off the first month or year. Is that, I've never done this. So let me put the link in the chat. And if you'd like to join the Circle of Love Sisterhood, you put in the Black Friday code and get 50% off. Whether you join monthly or yearly, you will get the 50% off the first month or year. Okay. So the link is in the chat. It's a limited time offer. Like I said, I have never done this before. Okay. So here's what will happen is when you click on that link, you're going to go to the page, the sales page, and click on join now. And when you click on join now, you're going to go to a order form. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because it's kind of hidden. You will see this little thing that says have a promo code. You click on it, and then the little box will appear, and you put in BF, and it's case sensitive. So BF50 and click apply, and you will get 50% off, whether you join at the monthly rate or the annual rate. Okay. And if that's not enough, I'm giving you a fast action bonus to join now. So again, I have never done this, especially at this Black Friday rate. I've never done this because this is ridiculous that I'm doing it. But I want to be generous. I want to support you. I want you to join the Circle of Love Sisterhood because I know you're going to love it. If you join within 24 hours, I'm giving this fast action bonus. You will receive an exclusive private one-on-one coaching session with me. Okay. But you have to join within 24 hours and you still get that Black Friday discount, the 50% off the first month or the first year. Now, if you're still not sure, and I don't know why you would be, because I think this is the most brilliant offer ever, is if you're still not sure, here, I'm going to do this so that you feel safe and secure in making this decision. I'm giving you a money back guarantee. You can try it out for 7 days and there's no risk on your part. If you decide after 7 days, you know what, Suzanne, this is not for me, which I don't think you will, but if you do, just let me know. I will give you a full refund and no big deal. We can part as friends and we can move forward. Okay. So there is a 7-day money back guarantee. Now, Kim, who is a member of our group, she said, a big realization for me is that I was in danger of giving up on the life that I really wanted. Suzanne created a sisterhood where like-minded women would be safe share, learn, and grow together. Being in community has fostered many close friendships and the constant reminder that we all have work to do to reach our life goals. Kim is one of the sisters. She split the time between Seattle and California, and I get together with her a lot. So here's what will happen after you join is you will receive a welcome email. And you'll get a separate email after that with access to the VIP membership site, and you get access to the private Facebook group. Okay. And mark your calendars because you can attend our first live session on Tuesday, December 2nd. If you have questions about the Circle of Love Sisterhood, please put them in the chat or in the question box, and I will answer questions as soon as I get to the end of this. Lynn, who is a member of our group, she said, I came to Suzanne as a lost and broken, timid individual. What I found in her was someone who listened intently and genuinely cared. Working with Suzanne is like you're working with your best friend. She listens carefully between the words spoken and gently challenges you to move past your personal box with empowerment. And I will tell you, I have seen Lynn grow and change for the better. She's become the best version of herself in the years that she's been a part of the group. So join us today. The Circle of Love Sisterhood is a community where friendship comes first and thriving in midlife naturally follows. So again, put in the chat or the question box your questions, and I will answer those. So yes, Koki said, can you cancel at any time? Yes, you can. There's no commitment. I'm making this so simple. It's month to month. So if you want to join for a month, 6 months, or let's say after 8 months, you decide, you know what, this isn't for me, you can leave. So there's no commitment. Okay. Are there any other members in Washington, D.C., metro area or Northern Virginia? I like some in-person friendships. I don't have people as the group grows that it will have more people in other areas. But I do have people in, I'm thinking, New York, New Jersey, and Canada. And I do, by the way, like I said, I go back to New York a couple times a year and I meet up with the sisters in New York and New Jersey. And I will tell you, I've done meetups where I had sisters from California and Seattle fly to New York when I went there, and they met with us in person. So you can meet us anywhere. The other questions, and if there's any more questions, will it feel awkward being new to the group? I have to stay by the microphone. I tend to drift off. Will it feel awkward being new to the group? And the answer is no. Like I said, is we get new members and everybody always feels so welcome. Number one is because as the leader of the group, I'm always very conscientious about people that are new and making them feel welcome, but also making sure that they make connections within the live sessions to the group. And I will tell you, every time someone new joins, they're like, I felt welcomed like from session one. So you will not feel awkward. Next question. Can I really make friends through this group? The answer is yes. I personally, as the coach, I have become really good friends with a lot of the women in the group, and I get together with different ones depending on where they live. Just 2 weeks ago, one of the sisters was down here. She lives up in the valley, and she came down here, and we got together for lunch with her and another friend. Like I said, I'm going back to New York, and I'm getting together with a few of the sisters in New York. So you can get together with and meet new friends easily. The next question is, what if I'm shy or introverted? Okay, I love this question because, like I told you, I used to be really shy. So, because I used to be shy, I am so in tune to people that are shy. And I hone in on that so quickly because I want to make sure that they feel comfortable because I know exactly how it feels when you're really shy and you're like feeling awkward. So I always make sure everybody feels comfortable. So never feel like, oh God, this is going to be so awkward for me because I'm shy and introverted. Trust me, it won't be. What's the cost? The cost. So again, you can join for as little as $17 a month, or for the year it's 170. But I'm doing this Black Friday special, and I've never done this. You get if you put in the code, you'll get 50% off the first month or year. So again, it's the first month or year. You don't get it for the rest of your life, but then once you join, it stays this rate forever as long as you are a member in good standing. So your rate, the $17 a month or the 170 per year will never be raised. So if I raise the rates, which I do periodically, you will always be at that rate. I will never give you a surprise like, oh, I'm going to raise the rate on you. Nope, you get the same rate forever as long as, like I said, a member in good standing, a continuous member in good standing. Deborah said, will I get coaching and support for you? The answer is yes. Attend the live sessions whenever you're going through something. Never be shy. Raise your hand, ask for coaching and support, and I'm more than happy to support you in anything that you're going through. And I will tell you, on that second session where you get together with the sisters, I send you guys into breakout. The sisters are so supportive in supporting each other that they've come out of there saying, oh my God, they gave me the best advice ever because some people have been through the same exact things that you may be going through and can give you their perspective on what they did to help them overcome it and get to the other side. Um, uh, what do have to do to get the bonus private coach session? You have to join by tomorrow. That bonus is going to go tomorrow. And I have never done, especially at the price, because it's like no brainer. It's giving you a private one-on-one coaching session with me with the Black Friday code. You have to join by tomorrow to get that. After tomorrow, it disappeared. Kathleen said, where's the link here? Let me put it in again. Hi, Kathleen. It's good to see you. Um, Koki said, oh God, my killing me. I'm sorry. I might have missed, but how often are the Zoom meetings? Oh, great question. So the Zoom meetings are the first Tuesdays of the month. So twice a month we meet the first two Tuesdays of every month. What do you do during the Zoom meetings? Are there topics? Yes. So the first session is all about us thriving in midlife. So I pick different topics every month on the session to help you thrive in midlife, but also overcome any challenges you may be going through. So I focus on helping you manage your mindset, helping you thrive and move through any challenges you may be experiencing in midlife. I will tell you in December, here's what we're doing because I already have this planned out. Is I start early on manifestation for the next year or 2020. I don't start in January. I start in December because I want you to hit the ground running come December. So start thinking about all the things that you want to manifest and do in 2026. And that's what we're going to focus on this December, that session, so that you're ahead of the game when January 1st, 2026 around. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, I have one of the best manifesting stories that I manifested in this last year that I'm going to share on that first session. And one of our sisters group, already a member, she is like I'm telling you, she is like the chief manifester. She has great stories too. So hopefully I'll be on that live session too, and she could share what her story is and different things she's manifested the last year. Excuse me. Um, Hang on. I think there's more questions. Let me. Oh, someone said I don't see any link or anything else in the chat. That was from someone anonymous. Let me put it in one more time. Whoever asked that, because it didn't have a name on that, let me know if you still can't see it. Oh, I know what I could do. I could put it on the question you answered. Hang on. If you can't see the chat, sometimes when you're on a phone or an iPad, sometimes you can't see the chat. So let me know if you still can't find it. I'll try and find another way to get you the link. Um, what time are the meetings? I'm interested, but have an exercise class from Tuesday night from 7 to 8. Cody, I think that you're on the East Coast, so it's 5 o'clock Pacific time, which makes it 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So, oh, that's so weird. Koki said she doesn't see the link either. So ladies, if you can't see the link, never fear. I will be sending out the link to join with the replay. So just look in your email. And again, the Black Friday code will be in there. And also, you will have time to join to get the complimentary session with me. As long as you join me tomorrow, I will be sending out the replay with the link tonight. I'm cringing because I'm like, oh God, I got to hurry up and get this out so that you guys on the East Coast get it. But I am committed. I am committed because you guys are important to me. I will get this out tonight. If you're on the East Coast and you're like, Suzanne, I'm going to bed. Don't worry, it will be in your inbox. And if for some strange reason you don't get the email or the link, just reply to one of my emails and say, "Hey, Suzanne, I don't know, I didn't get the link. Can you please send it to me?" And I will send it to you tomorrow. All right, ladies, are there any more questions? Oops, what happened? I'm going backwards. Um, uh, can we sign up tomorrow too, or it has to be tonight? No, you could sign up tomorrow. Don't worry. Here, let me put it in here. I just don't want you to forget because I'm giving you guys really good deals. Like I said, the private one-on-one session with me goes away tomorrow. Don't miss that, please, because I can't tell you how many times people will email me and say, Suzanne, I missed it, and I can't make exceptions if you guys miss the deadline. So please, please, please don't miss it. I know you're probably thinking, oh, that's mean. And the only reason why I can't make exceptions when someone misses the deadline is because if I do it for one person, I have to do it for everybody. You know that saying. So please don't wait. Sign up. This is the best deal you will ever get from me for the Circle of Love Sisterhood. I don't even know if I'll do the Black Friday special next year, but I will tell you, I have never done a Black Friday special Circle of Love Sisterhood ever, and especially at 50% off. So I wanted to give you guys a great deal because I think it's so important to support women in midlife. And like I said, this is truly my passion to really connect women in midlife because I know what it's like to go through midlife alone and get the unexpected cancer diagnosis, or you're thinking about retiring, or you lose one of your parents, and it's a lot when we're in midlife, or you're going through empty nest syndrome. And I have a couple of sisters in the group who are going through empty nest syndrome, and so being a part of the group is really important to them. So like I said, this is my passion. I never want a woman in midlife to feel like she's alone. So that's why I created this group, is because I want women in midlife to feel connected, be supported, create friendships, and more importantly, thrive in midlife together. So Kogi said, thank you for the special offer. That is very generous. You're so welcome. So, ladies, I hope to see you in the Circle of Love Sisterhood in early December. And it'll be a great month because we're manifest stuff in 2026, and I can't wait. All right, ladies, have a wonderful night.